Hello, Jacob here, and joined once again by the lovely Dave.
Hello.
He's back, and posher than ever. And today we're going to be looking into the ray tracing performance you can expect in Remedy Entertainment's latest action-adventure hit, Control, with Nvidia's RTX 20 series GPUs.
Yes, the paranormal world of Control is astonishingly vibrant and stylized considering its bureaucratic, somewhat federal setting. The otherworldly nature of the game is achieved with stunning visual direction and undoubtedly helped along the way in some cases by Nvidia's RTX ray tracing suite.
No doubt a visually rich video game regardless. If you've got one of Nvidia's RTX 20 series graphics cards to hand, then there's a little extra depth and style for you to enjoy in this title's eerily clean-cut halls, adorned with unsettling reminders of the looming extraterrestrial invasion, courtesy of ray tracing.
And Control offers the whole package. Whereas previous RTX titles were limited to one or two ray trace effects, some reflections here or some shadows there, Control does it all. It's one of the most all-inclusive and resonating uses of ray trace rendering to date, and available in-game are options for ray trace reflections, transparent reflections, indirect diffuse lighting, contact shadows, and even ray trace debris, which incidentally there is a lot of once you start flinging filofaxes and pneumatic capsules across a federal office block packed with redacted papers covering myth, legend, and enchanted household utensils.
So let's take a look at how all that stacks up on your poor old GPU.
Poor little thing. There are three Nvidia RTX settings available: high, medium, and off. High will enable all of the above features, which can tack on a rather considerable heft to frame times. Medium, on the other hand, enables only ray trace reflections and transparent reflections. The latter eases the load somewhat on your GPU and still looks rather lovely in our opinion anyway.
The game also supports Nvidia's proprietary AI upscaling technology, DLSS. This allows a game to be rendered at a lower resolution, say 1440p, and upscale to 4K with only minor loss in clarity, and reduces the load on your GPU considerably over native rendering.
At 1080p, with all ray tracing features enabled, both the RTX 2080 and the RTX 2060 struggle to maintain a constant 60 FPS minimum. The beefier card will mostly hit the gold standard on average, however, making for a perfectly playable experience. Overall, this RTX implementation will leave you some 33% worse for wear compared to disabling RTX altogether.
With only reflections activated, or RTX medium setting, both cards perform far better. The RTX 2080 manages to stay above 60 FPS, even in worst case scenarios, and the 2060 will hit that magic number on average. In our experience, reflections are the most discernible ray trace effect in game, so there's something to be said for this slightly cut back implementation if you're after a blend of visual quality and fast-paced action.
It is worth noting, however, that high refresh rate panels may be wasted on Control with mainstream graphics cards. Even the RTX 2060, a moderately powerful GPU by today's standards, struggles to hit minimums above 50 frames per second, even with the RTX completely disabled at 1080p.
With that in mind, 1440p seems a stretch for the mainstream GPU, leaving the much more powerful RTX 2080 to rule at this resolution. DLSS can come in handy here, however, and while some of that clarity may be lost along the way, this upscaling feature unlocks playable 60 plus FPS on average with even the cut down Turing card.
The RTX 2060 is held back from greater resolutions with DLSS by more than just its GPU grunt alone, and that's due to its 6GB of GDDR6 video memory. This limited memory pool prevents high-res world textures from loading into the world for quite some time, most of all when entering a new area. Much of the texture clarity expected with the increased resolution is then lost along the way. This is one case for the increased 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM present with the recently released RTX 2060 Super.
Native 4K eludes even the RTX 2080, although with a helping hand from DLSS, reasonable and playable frame rates can be achieved of over 75 FPS on average and 58 FPS minimum.
For us, the smoothest Control experience and the prettiest is at 1440p with DLSS enabled, and RTX set to medium. The DLSS implementation in this game is not quite as noticeable as in some prior RTX-enabled titles, many of which could do with a long-sighted glasses prescription, and this setting offers both a solid blend of speed, ray trace reflections, and clarity.
And we're recommending turning RTX on this time because we also truly believe that Control is one of the most rousing RTX implementations, if not the finest we've seen out of any studio to date. The game's hallucinatory blend of fact and fiction offers heaps of opportunities for reflections, contrasting scenes, and bold colors throughout, all accentuating the scene in a convincing fashion and reigniting the imagination of what's possible with ray tracing in the right hands.
Your venture into Control's surrealist paranormal world is only heartened by its RTX implementation, and Remedy's use of it is the best we've seen so far. However, ray tracing still comes with a cost, and you will have to take a hit on overall performance to experience Control at its finest firsthand.
But if you've liked the gameplay you've seen today, or the RTX pretties on display, you can hear more about Control and read our full review over at PCGamesN.com.
Or head over to the PCGN channel for even more in gaming from our lovely hosts over there, or hardware from the two of us.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.